The Independent National Electoral Commission has scheduled the 2024 Edo State Governorship election for Saturday, 21st September 2024. The timetable of activities published by the Commission shows that primaries to determine candidates of political parties will be conducted between 1st and 24th February 2024. Prior to the release of the timetable, there have been increasing number of eminent sons and daughters of the state indicating interest in the #1 seat of the state. However, the number continued to increase after the release of the timetable by the electoral umpire, with PDP, APC, and Labour Party having the highest numbers of intending contestants. The party primaries is less than 2 months from now. Yet, only but one political party, the PDP, has made known its activities for the primaries. As it stands now, it is not yet clear to most aspirants what will be the process of nomination of candidates, the cost of their party's nomination forms, the nature of primaries, as well as delegates, screening, and various schedules of activities for the primaries. On this edition of Frontline, coming to you from outside our studio, we will be taking a look at the quality of persons aspiring for the #1 seat in Edo State, and what next for these aspirants in their quest to become the governor of Edo State under the platforms of various political parties existing in Edo State. Good afternoon and welcome to this special edition of Frontline. I am Jude Abugu, and I have with me to do justice to this important discourse that borders on who leads Edo State after the tenure of Godwin Obaseki as the governor of the state. Honorable Dr. Washington Osa Osifo, a legal practitioner and a politician, a political analyst. Honorable Osifo, you are welcome to Frontline.
Thanks for having me. How are you?
Fine. You probably listened with rapt attention when I was reading the background to this discussion.
Absolutely.
And I know that you have been following the developments lately concerning the aspiration of various people to be candidates for the coming election.
It's expected.
Now, has it always been this hot at this stage of the contest? Because the heat is heating up now. A lot of people are showing interest and there are a lot of activities going on. Has it always been like this whenever election is coming up almost 1 year before the election?
Of course, there's something different from what we have always experienced, you know. It's just the characteristics of the presence or nearness of election season. Like you rightly said, this is another election cycle. The bell that signals the commencement of the journey to the 2024 election was rang by no other institution but the umpire, which is INEC, by the release of its timetable, for the conduct of Edo election, and of course, what periodic election does is that it gives opportunity that throws up new sheriffs in town, maybe to jostle for the position. And as it is in Edo, because it's been very toxic for the past 7 years, so if you want to say this is slightly different in terms of interest, the numbers of contestants, there are several reasons that can be adduced for that. For instance, this state sat on the keg of gunpowder and it's been boiling for the past 7 years, going to 8 years now. So everybody is anxious to see an end to this era, and which many regards as cold-blooded, led by cold-blooded personality, and we're just in a hurry to deal with that. So whether Labour, whether PDP, whether APC, even the Edo people that are political, they just want to see the end of an era to also bring about a new era in the hope that It will be an era that will usher in peace, togetherness, tranquility, growth, reasonable growth and development within our polity.
All right. Thank you for that insight into how gubernatorial preparations for gubernatorial elections have always been in Edo State, and what makes this particular one a bit different. Okay, apart from the number of people showing interest in this position, what do you have to say about their qualities, their attributes, characteristics, and also their pedigrees? Are you impressed with the caliber of people showing interest this time around?
Sure. Edo people, one thing we are known for, we are unique. And that takes from the fact that we are education advantage state, and we're leading state in terms of the rating of in education, and we're highly educated, both in character and in learning, and that accounts for what we see, the quality of debates and the quality of persons offering to run for the office, and I'm impressed. I dwell better and I do better when I find the quality of men and women who are co-contestants for anything. It brings out the best in me. So without a quality challenge or challenges from quality persons, and you can just double down on who you are. It brings out the best in every reasonable person to find quality competitors. So I salute everyone on this race today.
All right. At this stage, aspirants are consulting with their party leaders, stakeholders. Is also a kind of a test of their popularity, what the chances that they stand. But do you see a situation whereby after these consultations, even before the primaries, some of them will start maybe stepping aside for someone that they consider is a better person for the job?
Yeah, reasonably so. It's even if it happens, it's expected, but even if it happens, it wouldn't be strange. It's always been like that, not just here in Nigeria, even in Edo, in outside clients, outside Nigeria, it happens, Everybody throws in, themselves into the race, and they're expecting that they are the best. But the reasonable ones, the altruistic ones, at some point, you have to evaluate, what you have to bring in. And if you see somebody you think can do it better than you, if you are really or truly a statesman or a stateswoman, that would be the right thing to do, the proper thing to do.
All right. Before now, also, we have been witnessing some defections, people moving from one political party to the other because of their aspirations. And also, in Nigeria, when people find out that a particular political party, they don't have chances there, before or maybe immediately after the primaries, they join another political parties. Are we also likely to see similar thing, considering that some people left the political parties they have been loyal to for years to move to another political party? Such cross-carpeting movements, are they still very possible this time around?
Well, it's part of cross-carpeting is part of the political ingredients, and that makes it tick, especially around the electionary circle like this. In Africa, it is very synonymous, with the kind of politics we play, because our ideological politics is not well entrenched here. So you see some of these movements. One is coming from here, and the other one is going the other way. It has become accepted in our climes and in our norms. The Constitution, talking about the fundamental human rights that allow you rights of association, also allows that. That is the first line of defense that any politician would want to take. And because the need to win is basically what drives the agenda, so you find that people just move at will when they see that the platform they are clinging to is not good enough or cannot take them to the destination. They jump ship, and
all right, but is it still possible for one to contest a primary with a particular political party, and when the person loses, he moves to the other political party?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. You're a
legal practitioner.
Yeah,
too,
whereas
so
when I say it depends on how you look at it, it's a matter of morality, conscience, and the law. For those who intend to contest, what the law has said today, it expects you, haven't begun the process, stay where you are and conclude it. And once it's concluded, if it doesn't favor you, you can't jump ship. Whereas that is so, but assuming you don't want to contest anymore, you just want to jump ship just to probably teach your political party, the one you think wasn't fair to you. You want to teach them a lesson. So I think it's not about teaching people a lesson. It's about putting the interest of the state first, the development of the state. That is the reason why I am in politics. So whatever happens, I don't believe in jumping ship just like that. Okay, yeah, I believe in my party, and I believe my party is good enough to win election. I'm not just winning, also be able to deliver on the promises for the people. So for me, I'm an ideological politician.
Okay, what next for these aspirants? Apart from the consultations that are going on, what are they looking forward to at this particular point in time?
Everybody's looking for good governance. Every reasonable person should be looking for good governance. I do. The progress gear has been on the reverse, and like I always say, if you match the internal borrowing and the external borrowing, which is very, very high, third in Nigeria, only behind Lagos and Kaduna, and first in the 9 South states, that is not anything to be proud of. In a state where we consume, we do not produce. When you borrow external loans, it means that anything that comes from the federal or even from any other sources, finances that come, what you use it for is to service those external debts. And if we continue to do that and we are not producing, it therefore means that we are mortgaging the future of our children and their children's children. And when will development come? If we want to shore up our revenue base and also increase the economic size of this state, as it were, then we need to start interrogating every critical sector with the means of investing and ensuring that we boost up production. When we produce, then we're able to exchange our goods and services to neighboring states and even for export purposes. Then our foreign direct investment, when it increases, and that would just be good for Edo as a state, because our revenue base will also increase. And when your revenue base increases, the ability to develop the state with funds will come higher, and employment will also come.
All right, Dr. Sifu, let's also go back to the preparations that political parties are making towards the primaries. For now, the PDP has fixed the price of its nomination form at 21 million, and I think it's the only political party that's come up with a price of nomination form or something like that. What is your view on the cost of this nomination form, and are you seeing other political party also fixing the prices within this range?
Well, you can't predict the temper of a chick still in the shell. Every political party is independent, and they do whatever they do independently. Whereas it may be okay to say, because we live in the same clime, one may borrow for the other, but nothing is cast on stone or iron. So I think the aspirants from any political party, anyone who wants to contest election knows that there are costs, to pay. And getting your form and your expression of interest form and the nomination form, is one hurdle you have to pass. So it's left for the party at the national to decide what they do when it comes to pricing.
What is your view on this zoning debate? Do you think that the political parties should tilt towards zoning or go for merit and competence?
Well, the constitution of the All Progressives Congress is a subsidiary legislation. It is not just a piece of paper. And on that document, what we know is that zoning has no place there. So whereas within the definition of fairness and equity within the human play, such sentiments could come up, such appeals could come up to lobby the party to see the need to do it. But some of us try to do that for a particular senatorial district for over 2 years before we submitted, to the will of the party. What we know is that the party has said, my party has said, there's no zoning, and they are standing by it. It's not in our culture, it's also in our constitution. So what we rely on, let the best win.
All right, let the best win. That is the very important point you have just made now. But in party nomination of candidates in the past, we have noticed in Nigeria that money appears to play an important role. At times it overrides competence and merit. And people are having this fear that money will play a major role in determining candidates of major political parties. Don't you think so?
Well, I'm an altruistic person. I'm not afraid of anything. In a society where we live in, we know what happened, but I don't throw up such sentiments. Because I've also seen. I look generally, and as a researcher, I've seen where those who don't even have money, they have content, they win elections, they win with tickets of the primaries and all of that. So it doesn't really mean. It is the responsibility of a party to sponsor its candidate. And the aspirants as it were today, they are doing all they can do to get it running. We have seen in this state that in many cases, it wasn't the richest aspirant that won the ticket. So Edo is unique. So I want to stay with Edo, and let's leave out Nigeria from this.
All right. What's your message to the aspirants as they approach the critical stage of the contest? Because in February they will be facing primary elections. So what message do you have for them?
Edo must be the growth and development of Edo must be the driving force behind the aspiration of everyone, and there must be mutual respect for one another, irrespective of the political party where you're trying to ply your trade. You must have Edo at heart. The success of Edo is the success of all of us as indigenous of Edo State. And Edo must be driven to that point where he takes proper place in the pride, among the pride of nations and sub-nationals.
What do you say to party leaders and members who will play a major role in nominating the candidates? And you know from these candidates, one will become the next governor of Edo State.
Well, I know, for instance, for my party, they are well guided by that choice, and the choices they have to make, and I know they will do the right thing.
All right, what of other political parties? All of you are Edo people, whether APC or PDP, and you are brothers and sisters.
Well,
don't you have advice for them?
Well, when politics has not come, yeah, we can discuss the politics of Edo State at that level. But when a contest is there, a contest will demand that you are jostling for a singular thing amongst and within other contestants, and the only advice I will have for them is that no matter their ambition, they must know that Edo is bigger than the ambition of all of us. Therefore, we must behave ourselves in a manner that suggests that we are civilized people. We must not malign the other person only to have an advantage, because it gives you an advantage when you maliciously bring down another. So I just think that let's debate and discuss issues rather than persons. That's the kind of politics I play. I discuss issues, I don't discuss people. Because small minds discuss people, big minds discuss issues. So I have big minds, so I discuss people. I want to call on all aspirants from across political parties to see the need to discuss. Because when you win, it's not people you want to be discussing. The simplest access to know a man or a woman who wouldn't work when you win or when he or she wins is the content of his discussion. If you are discussing people, it means that you're just going to go there to discuss people. That's your interest, and they are selfish. So let's discuss Edo. Let's discuss the economy of Edo. Let's discuss the infrastructural decay of Edo, with a view to what we can do to change the narratives. Let's discuss unemployment, let's discuss security, let's discuss interpersonal relations. Edo must move forward, and that is what is driving my ambition. And I'm serious about the matter, moving Edo forward. So this is what I recommend to them.
All right, thank you, Dr. Washington Osifo, for your interventions, dishing out some soothing and important words on issues that have been brought up on this program today. Before we wrap it up, let's leave our viewers with some words that they can ponder on. Just like you mentioned, when you say Edo is bigger than ambition of any aspirants. Then secondly, we say, let the best go, and let the people of Edo State work together to ensure that they enjoy good governance. It has been a wonderful time with our guests on this edition of Frontline. We promise to come back to you the same time next week with another revealing topic. Bye bye.